Well, this is a bit of an Evo diary with a difference. Middle of Lancashire, up on the fells, and this area is the farm bought by Peter Wheeler. And this is where he used to live when he was running TVR. And I've been here, and it's just an extraordinary expanse of space. Not a road for miles and miles. Last place you expect to find Evo doing a car test. But behind me I have a very special car. And Peter Wheeler was always thinking, how can I get a car that work in this sort of fantastic environment? You can get sort of Defenders up here when the conditions are good, but it gets a bit boggy here. So Peter came up with this incredible vehicle that back in 2008 Evo tested. It's called the Scamander. Quite most amazing vehicle you've ever seen. A go anywhere vehicle Peter wanted that could go across moors. It could also go on road, be fun to drive on road. It's a V6 300 horsepower engine, but it's got an amazing feature as well, because that is a propeller. And not only can this thing charge across the moors, it can swim, as we're going to find out later on today. I'm so glad it's finished. It started in 2003, this project. I saw it in 2008 when Peter was still alive and we went up on the moors. It wasn't quite right in those days, but now it's more or less finished. And what an achievement. Just the craziest car you've ever seen. What a mad car this is. I can't really call it a car. RRV is what Peter wanted to call it. Right, starting. Ignition on the top. Press the starter. See if we can close the canopy up. Wow. Very unlike your average off-road vehicle, you have to say. What a lively throttle as well. Definitely TVR sharp throttle. And we make our way down the moor. It's the most bizarre vehicle I think that's ever hit the road. Not many road markings up here, so you just sort of go straight. Hope for the best. It's interesting enough, they've left the road tyres on this car. They say, oh, well, it wasn't that extreme. I'd call this pretty extreme. What's lovely about this is how soft the ride is. It makes all the difference in these sort of conditions. I'm sort of sitting in a bucket seat as well, which seems a bit strange. But I've got panoramic vision all round. Automatic gearbox again, really quite nice off-road. An automatic gearbox always gives you a really soft setup. Might appear to be rough, but you don't know what's outside the windscreen, promise you. This is no ordinary trap. Actually, coming from TVR, there's no diesel, had to be petrol. And a pretty chunky one at that. I don't think people have it any other way. I think it's really strange, when you're sitting in an off-road vehicle, you're normally really quite high. I feel quite low in this, but I know there's a huge amount of clearance. It's incredibly wide, so it feels really stable. This is just child's play for this thing, a track like this. Just a beautiful part of the world. Just see the wheels in there, bouncing up and down. Those old-fangled Defenders. And here hear the fans going in the background, cooling fans. It's fine once you're on the road, it's only because we're going relatively slowly. That's the thing we normally go around that moor on. A completely different vehicle, that. But instead of mirrors, you've got these. You've got camera lenses looking behind. So a TV camera's looking behind. I have to say, it doesn't really work. These bits of track. The only other slightly unnerving thing is the width of the thing. So you come up to these things, you breathe in. I think you're going to take it shopping. Right, have you ever been on a scrambler or enduro motorbike? It just eats bumps. Instead of picking your way around, you just go straight down the hill. There's some evil rocks in that water. I actually know where the indicators are. Got to ask. Nice wheelie bit. Bizarre noises in here. It's something to do with a prop. I say on road it's a peculiar device. I think it's because you're right at the front of it, but when you steer you sort of suddenly move from side to side sort of with the front, because you're not used to sitting this close to the front wheels on a relatively long wheelbase. But yeah, truly bizarre noises, which are apparently coming from the prop. Well, it's the moment of truth. We've done the fells, we've done the road. It's what comes next, and we found a little marina, and they very kindly are going to let us go in the water. So this car test just gets more and more berserk. But just before we go in, I just thought I'd take you around the car because it is extraordinary, some of the details on this car. First thing is the amount of ground clearance this has got. We're talking around 11 inches of ground clearance for this thing, which, I mean, that's unreal. It's almost twice as much as a Defender. And then the engineers are telling me it's double wishbones all round, as you can see there. We're talking around 270 mil wheel clearance, wheel travel at the front, so 11 inches, and about 300 at the rear. so 15 inches of wheel travel. And then it's meant to be a commercial vehicle. So there we are, we've got some sandbags in the back. And when we go in the water, they're telling me it comes up to about here. Well, we'll soon find out. Where it gets critical is if we get water in there, because that's the engine intake. So that's about 5 foot of water. So as long as the waves aren't going over the top, we should be all right. Oh, flip! Hope it floats. It's really quite bizarre inside because you've got this 3-seater position with a central driving seat, but you have got these, and there was talk you're going to have it so you could have a stretcher position if it was military, or a seat like this. And then the engine is tucked under here when it's properly hidden away, and it's actually given them a few problems because it's got great big cooling fans just to keep the engine sort of bay cool. It's all right on the actual cooling, the front radiator is fine, but it's actually keeping that, because you have to keep that compartment completely watertight. You actually have to have fans just to keep it, just that compartment cool. Crazy machine. It's a hell of a, it's just, I can't get over the team. They've worked so hard to get it this far, and it was so good on the moor. It's pretty good on road. It's quite wide and feels quite strange to drive, but it's fantastic on the moor. I suspect it's going to be pretty cool in the water. Just swatted away. It's just typical. They say take it very gently in. This is just weird. Right, the front wheel just left. Oh dear.
It's weird, isn't it?
Does it? An interesting way of doing it.
Go on.
It's an amphibious vehicle, without a shadow of a doubt. It swims, it climbs mountains, goes around racetracks. What more do you want from a car? It's a Peter Wheeler special. I just wish he was here to enjoy it. Just an amazing achievement for the team though. Fantastic.
Well done.
Well, there we go. Thank you very much, crew.
Very impressed with that captain there. Very good.
Yeah. Pointed it into the wind, do a turn.
It is funny though, isn't it? Going and driving
really
in. It's a weird feeling.
Yeah. Well, you just have to charge at it.
That's it, yeah.
But yeah, it came out all
a bit
right.
wider turn and